Today I will be reading to you 17 mistakes that men make that prevent them from getting a girlfriend. These mistakes have been listed in a book by John Anthony from masculinedevelopment.com, and I will be reading directly from his book. Here we go. Mistake number 1. Not placing your own life first. This is by far the biggest mistake that I see guys making, and it's one of the most sinister reasons that most guys don't succeed with women. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever tried to chase a girl? You text her every day, you send her things on social media, you try giving her a call every week. What usually happens? I don't even have to ask, do I? 99% of the time when you do this, girls flat out ignore you. Now why is this? It's for a few reasons, but the biggest reason is that on a deep level, women can sense when you care too much about dating them. And while this isn't necessarily a bad thing, what does it communicate to a girl when you are too eager to date her and start chasing her? It communicates that you don't have your own life. She's your entire life. While this may sound romantic, it hardly ever works in the real world. Women want a man who has his own interesting life. They want a man who's successful. This is why I always recommend that men focus on their own lives first before trying to get the girl of their dreams. In fact, most of the hottest girls you'll date will start to date you precisely because you're focused on improving your own life. Mistake number 2. Believing female attraction is appearance based. Another one of the biggest mistakes I see guys making is they think that they can attract more women by improving their appearance. Now don't get me wrong. Obviously, looks play in a role in how attractive you are to women. If you look like a fat slob, you won't attract many girls. Conversely, if you are physically attractive, women will be much more receptive to your advances. But looks are not the biggest thing that women care about. The basic idea is that there's 4 things women are attracted to. Number 1, physical looks. Number 2, wealth and wealth potential. Number 3, social status and standing. And number 4, charisma and game. These 4 things are all you need to know to attract women. The most important of these 4 attraction triggers, however, is your charisma or game. There's a multitude of reasons for this, but it's all based out of evolutionary psychology. Women evolved to be attracted to a man's personality. In other words, men are simple. Our attraction is visually based. We see a girl with a beautiful face and a banging body and we get turned on. Female attraction, on the other hand, is more personality based. They need to understand that you're a confident, charismatic guy before they get attracted. You can attract women in many different ways, but there's 7 main personality traits that women are attracted to in men. They are confidence, congruence, non-neediness, clarity of intent, presence, carefree energy, and a strong purpose. These 7 traits are what women want in a man. And if you can learn to develop them, you will have more women than you know what to do with. Mistake number 3. Thinking women don't want sex. Most guys think that women don't like sex, or they don't like it nearly as much as men do. The truth is, women love sex, probably more than you do. Just the female clitoris alone has more than double the nerve endings that the entire male penis does. That's not even including the full vagina. What does this mean? It means that women experience way more pleasure from sex than men do. Why are women so hard to seduce then? If women really do enjoy sex more than men, why aren't they out looking to get laid every single weekend like men are? It's because the most important thing to a woman is her reputation, and nothing destroys a woman's reputation more than her being a slut. So how do we get around this? Well, there's something called a slut defense, which is basically a woman's unconscious resistance to being too easy. Let me tell you a story to illustrate this perfectly. A while ago, I was at a party with my roommate and he was doing way better with the girls there than I was. I was anxious in my head and nervous, but I decided to just get over my approach anxiety and do one more approach. I ended up talking to a girl and we hit it off. She then pointed at my roommate and the girl he was dancing with and asked me if I knew him. Yeah, he's my roommate, I said. Okay, she replied. How do you know her? I asked. She's my roommate, she said. Perfect. I instantly realized the opportunity. After about 30 minutes, my roommate ended up going home with the girl he was dancing with. I saw my chance and I seized it. She had been making out with me, grinding on me, and was very obviously attracted to me. We just needed a room and we would be good to go. Hey, let's go check on your roommate, I told her. Okay, she said. I quickly called an Uber and we got back home to my apartment. We walked upstairs and heard her roommate moaning. They were having sex. Let's not bother them, I said to the girl I was with. Obviously, her roommate was having sex, so bothering her might not have been the best idea. The girl and I then went into my bedroom and proceeded to have sex. Done and done. Do you see how easy that is? Why was it so easy though? Well, two main reasons. First, her roommate was doing it too. Second, she had an excuse to come home with me. See, women are extremely social creatures. So if there's social pressure on a girl to not have sex, she is probably not going to have sex. If, however, her roommate is having sex with someone, she won't feel slutty because she isn't the only one doing it. This is how women think. Another reason why it was so easy to pull this girl was because she had an excuse to come home with me. This might sound weird, but bear with me here. Like I said, no girl wants to be slut-shamed. So if you flat out ask a woman, hey, do you wanna go fuck? She's obviously going to decline your offer, even if she genuinely does want to. Why? Because that's way too obvious and upfront. Like I said, if a woman says yes to that, then what happens? She gets labeled a slut. So instead, you need to find a way to discreetly imply that you're going to have sex without flat out saying it. This is why the let's go check on your roommate line was such a great one. It basically gives her an excuse to go home with me and potentially have sex. Now, does it mean that she's guaranteed to have sex with me? Of course not. But does it give her the opportunity to do so if she wants? Absolutely. That way, if her friends ask her why she went home with me the next day, she can say, oh, we wanted to check on my roommate and make sure she was okay. If you want a magic key to get laid, it's basically that. Create opportunities where sex can happen discreetly and basically just make a move on the girl you are with. That's all there is to it. Sometimes she won't be interested and sometimes she will be. You need to learn to respect that. But if you follow the advice I give, she'll be willing to sleep with you far more often than not. Mistake number 4. Being way too friendly to her. If you want a guaranteed way to get into the friend zone, it's this. Always be super friendly to her. Never tease her, never be sexual around her, never flirt with her, and always approve of every single thing she does. Most guys think that the way to sleep with women is to be super nice to her all of the time. You know, buy her flowers, chocolates, text her sweet stuff, etc. Unfortunately, this only works in movies. In reality, being too friendly will instantly put you in the friend zone. Why is this? Because you're acting like her friend, not her boyfriend. If you act like her friend, she'll treat you like her friend. If you act like her lover, however, she'll probably treat you like you're her lover. Here are some ways to avoid doing this. Number 1, tease her over dumb stuff. Number 2, don't be afraid to disagree. Number 3, don't be a dick, but don't be too friendly. Most guys get slaughtered in the friend zone because they are too afraid to make a move on her, even if she wants them to. Let me give you an example. I have a friend who is an awesome guy and we both love learning game. One time, he met a super hot girl out at a bar. He got her number. The next day, she texted him, wanting to hang out and watch a movie. Of course, he agreed. Then when they were alone in bed together watching a movie, he didn't make a single move. She was literally offering herself up to him on a goddamn silver platter. And what did he do? He chickened out. She friend zoned him. This is how women think. Well, if he's not going to make a move on me, I guess we are just friends. If he had, however, made a move, what do you think would have happened? They probably would have ended up having sex and being fuck buddies. The truth is that if you don't move fast enough with women, they're going to end up slotting you into the friend zone. Again, why is this? If a woman is literally wanting to have sex with you and you don't escalate right then and there, it communicates that you're not the type of guy who gets laid. It also communicates the exact opposite of what you want to communicate. It communicates that you're not confident enough to make a move. Let me tell you something that I've learned, my friend. The guys who get laid a lot usually just get laid a lot because they aren't afraid to fail. They just try and try and try again until they find a girl that likes them. This is not only the key to success with women, but the key to success in life. There's going to be girls who might not be into you and you'll genuinely never know until you give it a shot. So give it your shot. It's also important to note that attraction has an expiration date. In other words, if a girl is attracted to you and you don't make a move fast enough, she'll often get bored and move on to a guy who will make a move. So, the moral of the story, take your time in escalating on a woman, but when she's ready to have sex, don't waste your opportunity. Mistake number 5, falling into the Oneitis mindset. Do you know what a Oneitis is? Most guys have had it before. It's where you have a soul destroying crush on one single girl who has barely even returned your interest so far. If you're trying to get that one girl, you're never going to get her. Why is this? It's because you fall into a scarcity mindset, which repels women like ant poison does to ants. When you're in a scarcity mindset, you believe there's very few women out there who could be attracted to you. It's the definition of neediness. So when you try to talk to her, what usually happens? You stumble all over yourself because you're so nervous. You feel like this is your one shot to get the girl to like you, and because of that you usually fuck it up. This is why whenever you have a Oneitis, it screws your game up. There's an old saying in the pickup world that's pretty blunt. If you want to get that one girl, learn to fuck 10 other girls first. And why is this? Because it will force you to do several things. First, become attractive to women. Second, become more confident. Third, explore more options. And fourth, improve yourself as a manifestation. If you ever have Oneitis, it's imperative that you get over it immediately. Oneitis is a very common mistake, and unfortunately it cripples most men from getting the exact girl that they want in the first place. Mistake number 6. Thinking women only want money. Girls really don't give a fuck about money. I know this may be hard to believe, but it's 100% true. Women are not attracted to money as much as you think. Is having money still attractive? Of course it is. But it doesn't matter nearly as much as you think. In fact, oftentimes women think that guys who flex their money are cheesy and pathetic. Why? Because they can't get laid any other way. Let me tell you a story to illustrate this point. A while ago when I was chatting with 2 women at a party, they were totally into me. Then they asked me that dreaded question, what do you do for work? Most guys have no clue how to answer this question. I didn't either. At the time, I had just launched a fitness ebook and was making a ton of money from it. I was pretty damn happy. So what did I say to the girls? I told them the truth. I'm self-employed. I have a fitness ebook. Here, let me show you. I whipped out my phone to show them, but they had already lost interest. What the hell? I thought, what happened? It wasn't until a while later that I understood what happened. The act of me trying to show off the fact that I was self-employed showed that I was needy. In other words, I was trying to impress them with my wealth. And what does this always do? It shows that you don't feel confident in yourself. Why? Because if you're truly the type of guy who gets laid all the time, you don't feel the need to use your wealth or social status to get laid. You just are those things. You don't give a fuck. Now let me tell you another story that illustrates this point in the exact opposite way. Recently, I was chatting with a girl out at a party. She was pretty interested in me, and of course, she asked that same question, what do you do for work? This time, however, instead of telling her what I do, I just laughed and told her that I work at McDonald's with a sly grin on my face. We locked eyes and she obviously didn't believe me. Yeah, I cook the fries. It's fucking awesome. I love that shit, I said. She looked at me in disbelief and I changed the subject. I ended up going home with her that night and never ever dropped a word about what I did for a living until after we had slept together. Now, why did that work? Why did saying I worked at McDonald's actually end up getting more attraction from a girl than saying I was self-employed? First off, it communicates that I don't give a fuck. I don't care if she approves of what I do or not. This is the non-neediness and carefree energy at work. Second, she knew I didn't work at McDonald's. The way I was chatting her up and flirting with her was so confident she knew there was no way I was a fry cook. So what did it do when I told her this? It generated interest and curiosity. Listen very carefully. Anytime you can make a woman curious, it's like throwing gasoline on the fire of attraction she has for you. Questions will blaze through her head like this. Why isn't he bragging about his work like all the other guys do? Does he secretly do something really cool that I don't know about? Why is he saying he works at McDonald's? He's so confident. There's no way he does. Wait, does he? I need to find out more. Funny enough, by not caring what she thinks of your wealth, you actually end up generating more attraction than you ever could before. I have banged girls when I was broke and when I was rich. They almost never cared about what I did for a living. And by not telling them what I did for a living, it generated extreme curiosity. Mistake number 7. Not understanding why women test men. A shit test is a test that a woman gives you to see the truth about you. It can take many different forms, but most often it's a little comment that's meant to tease you or potentially make you insecure about something. Depending on how you respond to a shit test, women will either grow massively attracted to you or lose all of their attraction to you altogether. So as you can tell, this is pretty damn important. As I've said before, they are most attracted to personality characteristics. You know, things like confidence, assertiveness, and purpose. They can't see these things. They can only observe them based off of the way that you act and speak. So what's a girl to do? If she wants to know if you truly have these traits, she's got to test you. Like I said, this test can take many different forms. Let me give you an example though, so you understand what I'm talking about. A while ago, I was in New Orleans spitting some game with my buddy. We saw one girl who was absolutely stunning. My buddy immediately saw the opportunity to talk to her and grabbed me by the hand to show her my tattoo. I have the all-seeing eye tattooed on my left hand because it symbolizes awareness and consciousness to me. Most people just think it stands for the Illuminati though. So what do you think his opener was? Hey, have you seen my friend's tattoo? Do you think he's in the Illuminati? He said as he put my hand in front of her to see my tattoo. She looked at us indifferently and went back to looking at her phone. Wow, look at this, he's in the Illuminati, he said. Again, she looked at us briefly and looked back to her phone. He has to be in the Illuminati, he said. Once more, she looked at us with indifference and looked back at her phone. Do you think I'm in the Illuminati? I asked her. She looked at us with indifference and flat out said, I really don't care. Now, how would most guys respond to this? They'd get butt hurt the very first time she ignored them. I had more experience than that though. I calmly and confidently looked at her and said, yeah, I really don't care either. It's not a big deal. I just wanted to hear what you had to say. She immediately looked up at me and her eyes lit up. They grew wide with anticipation, as if to say, holy shit, it's that guy. Now what does this story illustrate? It might seem kind of strange or off topic, but it actually illustrates the idea of a shit test perfectly. Look at it from that girl's perspective. How many times do you think guys approach her each night? A lot. She probably gets 50 guys an hour trying to sleep with her. She can't talk to every single one of them, now can she? That would literally consume all of her time if she responded to every guy who wanted to fuck. So what hot girls usually end up doing is they unconsciously ignore most of the guys who talk to them as a way to test them. The guys who get all but hurt and upset, they walk away and stop bothering her. The guys who are actually confident and have some game though, they understand. They get that hot girls get approached all the time and it can be annoying, so they don't sweat it. The first time she ignored us, we didn't sweat it. The second time she ignored us, we didn't sweat it. The third time she ignored us, we didn't sweat it. The fourth time, when she flat out said she didn't care, we didn't sweat it. Instead, I used one of my strategies to pass a shit test. Rather than getting upset that she was ignoring us, I understood that a hot girl like her probably gets harassed and approached all the time. So did I get upset? Of course not, because it was never personal. She had no idea who I was, so of course she didn't care. So, rather than getting defensive and explaining why she should care, I simply used a little bit of a wit to reframe the idea that she didn't care. It wasn't that she didn't care about talking to us, it was that she didn't care if I was in the Illuminati or not, and I didn't either. When she saw that we didn't get upset like 99% of guys, her eyes lit up because she instantly saw that we were those dudes who get all the pussy. This is the power of being able to pass a shit test. We all know why you're talking to a girl you have never met before, right? Because you want to sleep with her. She knows this too, and she isn't stupid. She just doesn't know if you are that guy who has a cool, fun life or if you're a creepy stalker. This is why women test men. It's not to be mean or obnoxious. It's because she literally has no other way of telling if you're genuinely confident or not. Mistake number 8. Thinking you are more insecure than she is. Most guys get insecure over their looks, their money and their social status. But do you want to know a secret? Even the hottest girl is 10 times more insecure than you are. Why is this? Well, it's probably for a number of reasons, but the biggest one is simply that girls are more emotional than men. So they are more susceptible to emotions like insecurity than we are. One of the biggest mistakes I see guys making is that they think that she's some perfectly confident model and they're just some loser or something. This makes it really hard to approach a girl, doesn't it? If you think she's 10 times more confident than you are, it's going to be pretty damn hard to approach her and seduce her. But if you see the truth, it'll be way easier. The truth is that even the most stunning women are usually far more insecure than you are. Women are constantly comparing themselves to other women, so they just can't win. When you realize this, you'll understand how easy it is to approach them. I've had drop-dead gorgeous women lying next to me in bed asking me if I thought their boobs were too small or their ass was too big or something. And in all honesty, it was kind of hard to believe at first. I'd look at them in disbelief because I literally couldn't fathom how they could be insecure. But the truth is that all women are insecure because their social standing depends on men, which is something outside of themselves that they can't control. Understand this and approaching girls will be 10 times easier. Mistake number 9. Believing that all women are manipulative. There's a common belief in the men going their own way and pick-up artist circles that goes like this. Women evolved to extract resources from men, therefore they evolved to be socially manipulative in order to get what they want. Whenever I hear people say this, I always silently facepalm myself. It's not necessarily that they're wrong, however. Yes, they're sort of accurate. Women are generally much more socially manipulative than men are. But this is a lot different than saying all women are manipulative. In fact, one of the greatest assets you have as a man is the women in your life. And when you learn to leverage their skills, your life will 10x in value. The same social intelligence that women can use for manipulation can also be used for the benefit of everyone, including you. Let me tell you a story that illustrates this point. A while ago, I had a friend I was considering doing business with. I thought he seemed like a pretty cool guy, so he met a girl I was dating at the time. Afterwards, when he was gone, the girl immediately turned to me and said, "I don't trust him. I got a really bad feeling from him." "What?" I said. "He seems like a really cool guy to me," I told her. We ended up talking, and while I didn't just take her word for it, I decided not to jump right into business with him. I wanted to see how things played out. Well, fast forward a couple months, and it turned out that this guy I was considering doing business with had quite the reputation for being a swindler. In fact, he had scammed some other people I knew out of a lot of money. So what's the point? The point is that the same social skills that some women use for manipulation can also be used to help guard you against manipulation. They say to fight fire with fire, right? It's the same concept. Women are a huge advantage in this regard. I used to be the dude who was angry at women and who thought they were all manipulative. But funny enough, now that I've got some more experience with them, I realize that it's quite the opposite. When you are a genuinely confident and attractive dude, you'll find that women are usually on your side more so than you think. Mistake number 10. Thinking women want a douchebag. A lot of guys think that women want douchebags and assholes. Women don't want assholes. They want a guy who's genuinely nice, who can be an asshole if he needs to be. That's a pretty big fucking difference there. Now, there's a difference between being genuinely nice and being a nice guy. A nice guy is a guy who's literally only nice because he's trying to sleep with a girl. This is the type of guy you want to avoid becoming. Most guys end up being overly nice and try to get in a girl's pants. Then when she ends up friend-zoning them, they get all mad and upset. This is obviously not what women want, but they also don't want an asshole either. The reason why women end up falling for so many bad boys, assholes and douchebags is because they like the confidence that they have. As I said previously, women are attracted to men who are confident, assertive, dominant, carefree and who have a strong purpose. Nothing new here. But unfortunately, in our modern society, the only guys who typically have these traits end up being assholes because modern social conditioning is so fucked up. Women want a man who is genuinely nice with no ulterior motive, but who can quickly become an asshole when he needs to be. Women often end up with assholes and douchebags because they have the confidence and dominance that most normal guys don't. But 95% of women prefer a man who is genuinely nice but who can be an asshole when he needs to be. This has always been the case. Now, do some women actually like guys that are assholes? Of course there are. These girls have daddy issues, however, and should be avoided. The vast majority of women want an alpha male, which is a man who is very kind upfront, but if you fuck with him or people he loves, he will protect them. Fully internalize this and you will have more women than ever before. Mistake number 11. Trusting what women say, not what they do instead. Here's a quick fact for you. Women are generally social creatures. I know it sounds obvious, but it blows my mind how often guys forget this. When you understand that women are social and emotional creatures more than men, you learn to observe their actions and not their words. Tell me if this has ever happened to you. You get a girl's number, you text her again and again, you keep making plans with her, and she always flakes last minute. Why does this keep happening, you ask yourself? Why does she keep doing this to me? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because you were her beta orbiter. A beta orbiter is basically a guy that a girl keeps around for attention and validation. She has no intention of sleeping with him though. Believe me, my friend, we have all been there. So what's a guy to do about it? Like I said, listen to what she does and not what she says. Women will talk all day long. Yeah, let's grab dinner sometime. Yeah, let's go on a date sometime. But it doesn't really mean anything unless she actually does it. So, if a girl is constantly telling you that she wants to hang out but keeps flaking on the plans you guys make, listen to what her actions say. Her words say, yes, I'm interested, but her actions say, no, I'm not interested. As simple as this might sound, it still blows my mind how often guys overlook this glaringly obvious dating rule. In fact, I'm probably guilty of overlooking it myself sometimes. But life has a way of smacking you in the face when you ignore these rules, so ignore them at your own peril. Mistake number 12. Thinking your attractiveness is static. Most guys think it's easy to be a girl, and in many ways it is. They get free drinks, they get treated with way more sympathy, they can get away with shit I couldn't even dream of, and they've got a free pussy pass. But do you know what we have as men that women don't have? Our attraction is dynamic, not static. Let me explain. As I said before, we all know what dudes are attracted to. We like nice big butts, big perky tits, and a gorgeous face on a woman. Women are attracted more so to a man's personality than his physical appearance. So what does this mean for us? It means that we can change our personality over time. Or in other words, we can change how attractive we are. If you are a girl and you're born ugly, sure, you will probably be able to find a nice guy to marry you, and I certainly wish everyone the best. But if you are a girl and you're born ugly, you really can't do much about it. Yeah, you can use makeup, but you can't really change your appearance. As a guy though, you can completely change your personality within a year or two. In other words, you can literally change how attractive you are to women. It's 100% within your power. You can literally make the decision right now to start becoming more confident and improving your social skills. It's literally as easy as that. When I was 18, I was completely clueless when it came to women, and look at me now. I literally went from being insecure and barely able to talk to women without getting anxiety to sleeping with dozens and dozens of women in just a few years. Trust me, I get stories like this every single day too. It's amazing how much you can improve your life if you just decide to do so. Mistake number 13. Setting your standards far too low. Now, I'm almost a little bit hesitant to say this. Why? Because guys use this as an excuse to not approach girls. A lot of the time when dudes first get into learning game, they'll use this as an excuse to not approach a girl when really they're just afraid. Dude, she's not hot enough, they'll say, as they pass upon a perfectly good opportunity to approach a cute girl who seems into them. This being said, however, even though guys use this as an excuse, I still think that this is a very important point to make. A wise man once told me that you'll never get what you want in life if you don't even know what it is. Think about this for a minute. You should know with 100% certainty exactly what you want in life, down to the most minute detail. You should know exactly what type of girl you want to date. In fact, take a moment to visualize the exact type of girl you want. Answer the following questions. What color hair does your ideal girl have? What type of body does your ideal girl have? What race, ethnicity is your ideal girl? How tall is your ideal girl? What is your ideal girl's personality like? Most guys don't think twice about questions like this, and it's why most guys have a piss poor dating life to show for it. If you don't know exactly what type of girl you want, you'll never get it, because you don't even know what the hell you're aiming for. Now, I also want to make another point about this mistake. Most dudes get into game, and if they actually apply the advice I give them, they'll start getting way hotter girls in their lives very quickly. But something usually happens after a few months or so. They go from dating girls that are okay to girls that are cute maybe. And then they settle for that. Don't settle though. I don't want you to settle for a single goddamn thing in life. I want you to get the exact fucking life that you want. After you make a little bit of progress in your dating life, it can be tempting to settle. Don't listen to that little demon in your head though. Once you start improving your dating life, your goals should improve along with it. This is the same across the board for money, fitness, and life as a whole. Your goal was to sleep with 10 girls and you attained it. Great. Now set your goal to 20 girls or 50 girls or 10 Victoria's Secret models. I don't care what you set it to, just set it to something higher. You must always be aiming for something greater in life, otherwise you'll just sit where you're at and start to stagnate. And that's what got you into this mess in the first place, right? Always keep raising your standards until the day you die. Mistake number 14. Putting the pussy on a sky-high pedestal. Have you ever seen the movie The 40-Year-Old Virgin? If not, I recommend you watch it. It's a comedy, but it's got some pretty good lessons in it. In arguably the most famous line in the whole movie, one of the main characters tells the 40-year-old virgin not to put the pussy on a pedestal. What does he mean by this? Again, it's quite simple really. He's saying that you shouldn't idolize women. They are not goddesses, they are not superhuman, they are just normal fucking human beings. I know this might sound obvious, but it would blow your mind if you realized how many guys do this. Hell, I used to do it, we all did. When you realize that women are literally just normal human beings, however, you will find yourself acting with ease around them. 99% of the time, this is where approach anxiety comes from. Everyone has flaws and everyone makes mistakes. Even that solid 10 who's a model has flaws. She gets annoying sometimes, she does stupid things sometimes, she looks ugly and tired sometimes. It's normal. Don't get caught into this frame of women are goddesses because it's the number one biggest thing that will fuck up your dating life. In fact, I have a friend who's currently doing this. He went through a breakup with his girlfriend literally almost a year ago and he just can't get over her. He says he'll never find a girl like her again, but believe me, I've met her, and not to be a dick or anything, but she really wasn't that special. Sure, she was nice, sure she was hot, but do you know what? There's a lot of hot girls out there, they're really not that special. Again, I'm not even trying to be a dick here, I'm just being realistic. But for whatever reason, he just can't seem to get over this girl. Why? Again, it's pretty simple. It's because he views her as a goddess. He doesn't think he'll ever be able to get such a perfect creature ever again. And it's fucking his entire life up because it's been a year and she's already moved on and he's probably getting railed by other dudes. Never put the pussy on a pedestal, ever. It will fuck your game up. Most of the unattractive things men do usually come from this idea that you should put pussy on a pedestal for some reason. Think of all the things that come out of having this belief. You'll be super needy, you'll put up with unreasonable bullshit, you'll be afraid to just be yourself with her, you'll always be afraid of talking to women. Have you ever noticed that when you don't care if a girl is into you or not, she usually gets really into you? Have you ever had that happen? I sure have. I've had girls who were really into me and I just didn't care. And what did they do? They got even more into me. Why is this? It's because I literally just didn't care. They were just human beings to me. They are not goddesses, they are just human beings. Think about how you treat girls you aren't attracted to. You probably act like yourself around them, right? You're not afraid to tease them or say what you're thinking around them. And because of that, they probably try to get even more validation from you. Now, what if you could act that exact same way around really hot girls? I'll tell you exactly what would happen. They would be attracted to you too. When you realize that women aren't goddesses and just treat them like they're normal human beings, you'll notice that they'll be far more attracted to you. And you'll be a hell of a lot happier too. Mistake number 15. Being way too needy with women. Neediness is the number one thing that turns women off. Why? Because it communicates that you are a low status guy. What is neediness? Put simply, neediness is feeling like you need her for something. You need her for validation, to feel like a man, to get laid or something like that. Neediness can be manifested in a number of different ways, such as getting upset when she doesn't text you back, always wanting her to approve of what you do and who you are, texting her 50 times a day when she doesn't ever text you back. There's a lot of different actions that convey neediness, but fundamentally, when it comes down to it, neediness is a feeling, not an action. I get asked questions like this all the time. Is it beta if I open the door for her? Is it needy if I text her back right away? The honest answer is that it's not what you do, it's the place it comes from. Let me explain. A lot of common dating advice says not to text a girl back right away, and generally speaking, I would probably agree with this. Most guys are way too needy and they're always chasing a girl's approval. So, when you tell them to wait 3 hours before you text back, it's an improvement. But, and here's what's key to understand, this isn't fixing the underlying problem, it's only fixing the surface level behaviors. Let me give you an example. When I first got into game, I would always wait before I texted girls back. I thought it was too needy and desperate to text them back right away. But then I heard some of the wisest words I've ever heard. It was at a pickup artist seminar many years ago, and someone asked the instructor if it was needy to text her back too fast. A silence fell over the audience, and he responded by saying the following: "Neediness isn't a behavior, it's a feeling." As simple as that sounds, it absolutely blew my mind. Here we all were trying to analyze every single thing we did and figure out if it was alpha or beta, and if it was needy or non-needy. When in reality, neediness isn't even a fucking action, it's a feeling. See, I almost never ask myself if I should text a girl back immediately or not. If I'm busy, I just don't check my phone. If I'm on my phone, I'll usually text people back right away. I never ask if it's needy or not to text a girl back because it really doesn't matter. Why? Again, it's pretty simple. If you think you're acting all needy over text and then a girl hangs out with you and you're hanging on her every word for approval, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how non-needy you were over text. Once she sees that you're needy in person, she'll realize you were just hiding it the whole time. Boom boom, attraction status gone. So you need to fix the underlying problem instead of just surface level actions. Girls almost never think I'm needy nowadays because I'm just not fucking needy. I just focus on my own life, so I'm not needy. Mistake number 16. Confusing chasing women with persistence. There's an old saying in game, and it goes like this: be persistent but don't chase her. This might seem like a small difference, but it actually makes all the difference. Let me explain. Like everything else in dating, most of it comes down to your mindset. In other words, it's not so much what you do, but how you do it. Chasing women always comes from a place of neediness. You constantly pester her and bother her because you feel like you need her in your life. Persistence is almost the exact same thing as chasing, with one critical difference. It's not coming from a place of neediness. So, it comes across far differently. Girls actually love it when a guy is persistent because it shows that he's willing to work for what he wants in life. In fact, persistence is a huge turn on. Chasing her, on the other hand, is a huge turn off. What's the difference? Again, it comes down to the underlying mindset. And you can always tell a guy's mindset by how he reacts to external circumstances. This is why women test men so much. If a guy asks a girl out and she says no, he can respond in one of two ways. He can either get upset and butthurt, or he can be 100% okay with it. If he gets upset and butthurt, it's because he was chasing. He felt like he needed her validation and attention to point of desperation. If he doesn't get upset, however, it's because he was persisting. Most guys get butthurt and upset when a girl doesn't want to sleep with them, and this is the biggest mistake you could ever make. Why? Because it tells a girl that your self-esteem is tied up in what she thinks. If she sleeps with me, then I'm confident. If she doesn't sleep with me, I'm insecure and get mad. In other words, it communicates you aren't confident. When you don't get upset when she rejects you, you communicate that you're okay with this. And funny enough, a lot of the time, if you genuinely don't care if a girl rejects you or not, she'll actually become seriously attracted to you. I've literally had times where I'll approach a girl, she'll blow me off, and I'll just say something like, "Okay, well, sorry for bothering you. Have a nice night." Then I'll walk away and just focus on having a good time. And what do you know? 15 seconds later, she won't stop eyeing me with curiosity. Why does this happen? Because it's literally the opposite of what most guys do. Most guys get upset when a girl rejects them. The pros, however, understand that rejection doesn't even exist. First of all, it's never personal. And second of all, she's actually not even rejecting you. She is just rejecting your specific approach at that specific time. Women love it when a man is persistent without being too needy or creepy because it shows he is not the type of guy who quits on what he wants in life. He is willing to put in the work. The key, however, is to not get upset. Understand that nothing is ever personal, and funny enough, when you literally don't care, women will want you more. And mistake number 17 is neglecting your masculine energy. There are two types of energy, feminine and masculine. Feminine energy is receptive, emotional, beautiful, and passive. Masculine energy, on the other hand, is assertive, aggressive, determined, persistent, and ambitious. Unfortunately, most men are experiencing a crisis of masculine energy, and it's precisely the reason why most men's lives suck. Functional men have a high level of masculine energy, whereas dysfunctional men have a high level of feminine energy. How can you tell? Well, there's no cut and dry answer to that. But I can ask a few questions to give us an idea. Answer the following questions. Do you get upset easily over rejections? Do you ever get overly emotional over little things? Are you dissatisfied with your dating life? And do you find you have very little motivation in life? If you answered yes to just one of these questions, you don't have enough masculine energy in your life. The good news, however, is that you can actually develop your masculine energy, and you can do it a lot faster than you think. When you develop your masculine energy, you'll naturally become more attractive to women because you fix the underlying problems you have. So that was John Anthony's advice from masculinedevelopment.com, and that will do it for this one. I will see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.